All to the gate as we look down. Will there be a surprise from elsewhere though? No, once again it's Romain Febvre. Prado tried to go with him, but so too did Valentin Guillot, who triples downhill. Will he swing around the outside of the Frenchman? Not able to. But Romain Febvre with his third foxhole shot of the season. Guillot second. Prado in third. Fernandez fourth. Calvin Valandrin in fifth place. And then we've got Siwa, Koldenhoff, Pacharel, Ferrato and Evans in 10th, ahead of Watson in 11th place. Osland is 12th, Petrov 13th, and then Lewis Stewart of Australia, and riders down. So riders down. And Fernandez was one of them and Pacharel was the other. So Fernandez then out of fourth place. Pacharel obviously running into the back of him somehow. See how dry and loose the ground is there. That dirt, very loose and powdery and wispy. A nightmare for filters as well when it gets even drier than that and turns to powder. Shouldn't be a problem for these riders in a one-race format, but they go too wide and start sucking in all that loose dirt, then it can be a problem here. But Guillot hanging on to second position at the moment as they work their way back downhill here. He's under attack from Prado. Valandrin next, and then Siwa. There is Siwa. There's his teammate in white up the inside of him. Great start this to the race for Valentin Guillot, who finished 10th in race 1. He actually started 7th but fell on lap 6 down to 11th place before getting back to 10th with about 3 laps to go with a pass on Alvin Osland. Won't do the podiums and all the rest of it at the moment. Won't even do the championship stuff either. Not that there's too much happening there at the moment. At the top end anyway. Good drive uphill for Siwa, all over the back of Valandrin, who in turn closes right onto the rear wheel. But Prado just ahead of him. Oh, nice line up the inside. Siwa gaining ground. I wonder if we can see a replay of what happened in that turn a lap ago, actually, that took out Fernandez, because Fernandez, well, he's in 14th place at the moment. He started 4th. And Ruben Fernandez in the fight for the championship, don't forget. He was 10 points clear of Jeremy Siwa, so this is costing him points, because Siwa will be 1 point behind him at the moment. Tricky, edgy track now for the riders to negotiate and navigate. Febvre doing what he did in race 1, just gradually starting to pull clear from the Swiss rider, Valentin Guillot. The privateer, the satellite team, shipped to cycle Honda SR Motor Blues. Staying there in that second place at the moment. Meanwhile, bottom of the hill, getting close again. Jeremy Siwa looks to go around the outside. Thing is, Valandrin is now having to ride defensive. Look how loose it is, look how stony it is. These guys are being absolutely shot blasted as they head up those hills. As the circuit continues to dry out this late on in the afternoon. 4:14 local time here. Conditions drying out rapidly. Loose stones working their way to the surface as a result of that. That makes some of these corners unpredictable. Because it will be like riding on marbles in some places. Prado struggling to shake off Valandrin and Siwa. Febvre's gap 2.8 as he sets the fastest lap of the race, a 2:02.5. 2:03.9 for Guillot. Prado third with a 2:04.4. In fact, Prado, Valano, Siwa, and Koldenhoff all in the 204s. Ferrato 205. Evans still there in 8th place. He's at 206. Osland, what a great ride for him in 9th place. Gaining ground once again. Calvin Valandren, is he under pressure? Is he on the ropes? Is he under attack? Says he doesn't mind the hot conditions, but he's got Prado ahead of him. And the Spaniard is a very stubborn nut to crack. A little bit short in the landing there for Koldenhoff at the top of the hill. Here's Prado. He's in that 3rd place. All over the back of Guillot now. Late on the brakes as well. He thought about showing Guillot a wheel, but then you know what? It's very easy to just miss a few spokes if you're going too hard, because you bang the front wheel against the foot peg of the rider next to you, and all of a sudden you've got no spokes in that front end, and that wheel then just goes to collapse. So he had second thoughts about it, put it that way. Front end high as he tries to double in, and then different rhythm through there. He has to bounce his way in. See how cleaner it was for Prado as he doubled that last 4 waves. And it's paying dividends now at the top of the hill, because he's right back onto the rear wheel of the number 92, Valentin Guillot. No change in the top positions. Buries his rear wheel deep, but it may have cost him some time, because all of a sudden Prado navigates the turn a little bit differently, and in the end it's an easy pass for Prado around the outside of Guillot into 2nd. Can he hang on then to that 3rd place, yes or no? Well, Valandren will be lining up Guillot for a move on 3rd place. Benoit Paxarel is up to 13th place. Fernandez, meanwhile, is up in the 10th. He is behind Alvin Osland. And Valandren down the inside, taking full advantage of Guillot going wide at the top of the hill. So Valandren then up in the 3rd place. Set that one up nicely, top of the hill. Like team ship to cycle Honda SR Motor Blues, staying there in that 2nd place at the moment. Meanwhile, bottom of the hill, getting close again. Jeremy Siwa looks to go around the outside. Thing is, Valandren is now having to ride defensive. Look how loose it is, look how stony it is. These guys are being absolutely shot blasted as they head up those hills. As the circuit continues to dry out this late on in the afternoon. 4:14 local time here. Conditions drying out rapidly. So Valandren then up in the 3rd place. Set that one up nicely, top of the hill. And all of a sudden you've got 2 Swiss riders. 4th and 5th, Valentin Guillot and Jeremy Siwa. Koldenhoff not going too far away either. Get them over the line this time around. We'll give you some podium predictions, shall we? Through turn 1, downhill. Guillot tripling. Siwa will go inside and take the middle line at the bottom of the hill. And he may just work out for him as well, because he's going to have, well, he doesn't get quite the drive, does he? Valandren all over the back of Prado once again, as Siwa closes in. Desperate to find his way past the number 92, so 91 and 92, 4th and 3rd place at the moment. Valandren, he's got the bit between his teeth, hasn't he? Oh, Guillaume back end, one way then the other as he just went off the drop, spooked him as well. And that allowed Siwa to gain ground and make the move. And he now moves up into 4th place. Koldenoff getting ready to pounce as well. Oh, and he just bullies him to the inside. Talk about taking no prisoners. The Hoff blitzes his way into 5th place. Going after his teammate, clearly. That's the gap there, over on the left-hand side between Prado and Valandren, this man here. As we went over the line last time around, 47 apiece. A second and a first and a second for Fevre and Prado. Fevre will win the Grand Prix. Siwa is on the podium in 3rd, Valandren 4th, Koldenoff is 5th. That's how it was last time around. Focus on to the next one. That's the message for Siwa. From Seamus, the mechanic. Look at these two going at it here. Prado absolutely on the ropes at the moment as Valandren gains ground. This rider here, though, Valentin Guillaume, had a fantastic start to the race in 2nd position. Now finds himself in 6th place. Here's how it happened. So first of all, bottom of the hill, Jorge Prado got better drive, ran around the outside. That put him into 2nd. This was on lap 4. So too was Valandren's move at the top of turn 13 that put Valandren into 3rd place. And then after a big moment at the top of the hill, previous to this, messed him up on the descent, and that allowed Siwa to go through in a 4th. And then just as quickly as that pass had happened, he'd had no time to regroup before Koldenoff nailed him to the inside to take over 5th. Guillaume now in 6th place. Prado, though, 6.6 seconds behind Fevre as he comes under attack from the 10 of Calvin Valandren, who wheelies neatly over a little kicker there, keeping that rear wheel on the ground as much as possible. How choppy it's getting up over the far end as the back end lights up, and he's not going to get the distance, and that's going to bring Jeremy Siwa back into play at the top of the hill. Big mistake that from Calvin Valandren. Game on again between these two. So the Gebben van Venrooy satellite Yamaha against the Monster Energy factory Yamaha. When you make a mistake in conditions as warm as this, and another mistake there from Siwa, and it's very easy to lose your concentration and then make mistakes, which is what we saw from Fernandez in the qualifying race on Saturday. Took him a few laps to regroup, but judging by Calvin Valandren's response, hasn't phased him, and it's almost like he's been pulled back on a bungee string to the rear wheel of Prado, and he looks to dive up the inside. Not close enough there, though. Wow, 6 laps complete, and CV10 is knocking on the door for a potential podium, but it's not quite going to be enough, though, if he finds his way past Prado. Currently on 35, he'll move to 37, one behind Siwa. Siwa just being cut loose at the moment there in that 4th place. If Koldenoff finds his way by, though, then that will determine what goes on the podium. If, for instance, Valandren does find his way past Prado. Prado looking like he's putting up a fight here, though. 106 points clear of Fevre coming into this one. It'll be 103 as it stands right now. Fevre 3rd in the championship, don't forget. Here is your race leader, check out the start then. And for the second time today, Romain Febvre, absolutely sensational from gate number 1 over on the left-hand side. His third foxhole shot of the season, his second of the day. He did it by about a week, didn't he? All right, this was Fernandez. Oh, watch this here, Fernandez. And then Patrell just tried, no, it wasn't, it was Siwa, wasn't it? Yeah, Siwa tried to get up the inside. Snatched the handlebars away from Fernandez, and it was Fernandez that went down. Sitting down this time on this part of the racetrack. Romain Febvre was stood up there every lap in the first race. It seemed like he was getting confident around there. He's a rider that likes the back end to be a little bit loose, even when he's stood up, and he was dropping down that hill. There was hard, slick surface, and he was just on the pegs, letting it drift until it drifted too far, and then it didn't. And then obviously bit him in the backside, quite literally. But just taking it a little bit more cautiously through there this time around. Romain Febvre, number 3, who now has 8.5 seconds over Praj. Jorge Prado in second place. A little bit awkward through that turn for riders. Look, back end just hitting a couple of horrible holes mid-turn. See, we're back onto the rear wheel of Valandra, and I think Valandra must have lost time there as well in that corner because he wasn't able to double down, and Siwa right on his rear wheel again. Just wondering whether our spaceship has a problem, because I've not seen any images from the moon cam this race. Just wondering whether it got blown off course. I was going to ask, do we have an image of the move there a moment ago where Siwa would have got the better of Valandra? A little bit of back end, left, right, as he crested the plateau there. Jorge Prado. Clapping him on. That's got to be a nightmare, hasn't it? Just hold halfway and your tongue's already wrapped around the rear wheel of your motorcycle because of fatigue. Riders sitting there going, gosh, surely there's got to be like only a couple of laps to go. No, sorry, halfway. 13 actually, 13 minutes plus 2. Eight laps complete. Still nothing in it between second, third, fourth and fifth. Prado, Valandra, Siwa and Koldenhoff all separated by about a second each. This one's going to be about the mental toughness, isn't it? The will to survive. Who's got the biggest shovel? Who's prepared to dig the deepest? Chasing the dirt around the outside, not worrying about those tight, finicky inside ruts, Calvin Valandra. And then just messed up, blew through a berm there, and Siwa wasn't much more tidy through there either. I'll correct my English grammar, much tidier. I wonder who's got the best seat in the house here. Koldenhoff, Siwa, or Valandra? Very static at the moment, isn't it? These 4 positions. Not much happening. Febvre out on his own. We said that in race 1 until he wasn't. Romain Febvre chasing his first Grand Prix victory this season. Been on the podium 4 times, couple of seconds, couple of thirds as Siwa charges down the inside of Valandra. Best seat in the house so far then goes to Siwa, but Valandra, he wants that seat back, I think. Oh, they run down the inside. Whoa. almost came to grief at the bottom of the hill. Valandren was just asking a little bit too much of his front brake, and he almost ran into trouble and almost took Siwa with it. Siwa up in the third, had to work for it. That was a long series of events from past pit lane out of the turn, right the way down to turn 2, and Koldenoff all of a sudden, and he runs into the back of Valandren, tips over. He's going to have to pick himself up, but he'll lose a position to Guillaume, probably. Unlucky that from Koldenoff. Nightmare for the Hoff, looking so good. Looks over his shoulder. And clear track. Flapping tear off on the right-hand side of his goggles there. See where he'll try and grab that at first opportunity. You hear it rustling like paper. Side of your goggles, a distraction as well. So Prado maintains second position. He's got about 1.7 seconds over Sierra at the moment. Koldenoff is still in 5th place. He's at 15 seconds behind Valandren. Stays ahead of Guillaume. Crowd are getting animated out on the track. Must be cheering for Hillman Maxim in 17th place. He'll be a double point scorer this time out this weekend. Right. Here's Alvin Osland. Haven't seen too much of Alvin Osland, the JWR Racing Honda rider this year. But Alvin Osland, who's currently in 10th place, he was 11th in race 1, going to be 11th overall, is the Swede. And Osland, that'll be his best overall Grand Prix finish. 15th the last 2 rounds, Latvia and Germany. And great to see him here at the moment, circulating in that 10th, the rider in red. Because he's one of these riders, you know, never gives up, always works hard, always pushes on. And he is making light work of these conditions, track conditions I mean, but he is right there, and he's got Ben Watson, factory beater behind him, Benoit Petrov as well. And so a good showing this for the 161. He just got caught a moment ago by Ruben Fernandez and Albi Ferrato. Ferrato has lost a couple of positions. Evans has gone through into 7th. Here's Fernandez, 8th. And Ferrato just behind him in 9. So, or is that Guillaume? No, it's Ferrato. Oh, it is Guillaume all of a sudden. So Fernandez now 7, Guillaume 8. So this is a good charge for Fernandez after his fall down to 14th place. There's Ferrato in the background, look. So Ruben Fernandez carving his way through. He's got Evans just ahead of him in 6th. This will be 7th for Mitch Evans. That'll be back-to-back 7th overalls for the Aussie. Right, this is getting interesting. 7 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Jorge Prado. Paul Conway there, the mechanic. Nicknamed Seamus. Jeremy Siwa has closed in on Prado. The gap next to nothing as Prado triples in and Siwa thinks about it, but Bartabar as they exit turn 2, bottom of the hill. Just slightly better momentum for Prado on the run up towards the final turn. Half a second as they hit the line between 2nd and 3rd place. Who has the strongest mind in the next 6.5 minutes? When Mikkel, their press coordinator, cannot watch, their team coordinator down there as well, she cannot watch the outcome of this. What about you? Seamus looking on, willing his man on. Can't see from pit lane from that where the finish line, where the pit lane area is. Both these guys hanging off the back, trying to get maximum drive through that tricky uphill wave section that's loose and wispy and edgy. No games. I don't think Siwa came here for games, Seamus. Five and a half to go. Fevra, 9 seconds clear. Pat Chirel is up to 11th. He's just put Ben Watson on the MRT beta down to 12th place. Stretching it out over that ram triple jump. They've got about 3.5 seconds over Calvin Valandren. Koldenoff, after that mistake, 12.5 seconds behind Calvin, and that means Koldenoff is going to be finishing 4th overall on 34 points as things stand as they are, because Valandren, who's ahead of him, is 1 point behind in the podium classification stakes. And then Fernandez on 31. Fernandez 8 seconds behind Hoff. Right, Siwa making a small mistake a moment ago. This was before pit lane. This was a moment ago. Watch this here. Yeah, just a little bit huckabuck. Doing his best to break free, capitalising on the mistakes from the rider chasing him, Jeremy Siwa. Jorge Prado back in control of his own destiny. Just had to fight the bike there, though, as he wrestled it out of that turn, and a little bit shake of the head there from Davide De Carli as he agreed. It was almost like nicely picking his front end up there, though. See how those lines on the face of the jumps, and it's tricky now as well, because where we are, this part of the world, sun is starting to fade fast, dropping down over on the ocean, over to the right-hand side there. So every time the riders approach the finish line jump, for instance, the sun is right in their eyes. The finish line takeoff is absolutely black. You can't see it. It's absolute in darkness. Oh, almost lost the front end there. See where those long ruts almost catching him out. Is he pushing too hard here for that second place on Prado, I wonder? He is closing though again. Give you the sectors, 30.7, 31.1, 34.4, 34.8, 24.5, so only 4/10 in the last sector. Otherwise, advantage Prado. Romain Fevre has not won a Grand Prix since round 6 in 2021 Belgium. He missed the start of last year's campaign through injury. Got a third at the final round, but did get a race win. We're round 10 now. That is a long time between drinks if he can bring it home. Couple of minutes to go. He has 9 seconds in hand over Prado. He is so far being absolutely immaculate and mistake-free in this second race. Making it look so easy. Right, Prado still under the watchful eye of Siwa, who has regrouped and regained control of that third position. He's got a sneaky line through there as well all of a sudden, and so too do the riders behind him. Uses it to his advantage. He'll go wide and cut back, but maybe just a little too wide, perhaps. There's going to be 3 laps to go, so time is on his side in the latter stages of race 2. How much is Prado blowing? Well, he goes defensive at the bottom of the hill. He tries to run Siwa to the outside. And Siwa has the better momentum, and he does take second position at the end of lap 14 with 3 laps to go. So all the hard work and the tenacity paying off for Jeremy Siwa. Running a clear lens as well because of the silhouette lines with the sun fading. And that's a nice little trick actually. It's something I used to do when I raced. When you had these kind of conditions, a lot of riders when the sun comes out still choose to run a smoke lens. Mistake at the bottom of the hill there. But the problem is when you go sunlight, everything becomes more silhouetted and more in the shadows than it is. And so visibility becomes even worse as a result of that. A little bit loose at the moment, Siwa. Doesn't need to be because Prado looks like he's just up on the pegs now and just saying, okay, you have it, I'm done. Still going to be second overall, still going to take 45 points. I'm only going to lose 2 points to Romain Febvre in the championship chase. And we talk about that because there's no hurlings until Sweden at the moment. This has been a fantastic ride for Jeremy Siwa. Started fourth, bided his time, sat there, hit the reserve on the fuel tank when he needed to, with 2 laps to go. Hit the afterburners and flew right by into second, and already you can see the gap just opening up now between him and Jorge Prado. He's not going to do anything about Romain Febvre, who rounds out the final turn to take the 2-lap board here. Kawasaki Racing Team rider. See how long the shadows are as well from our cameraman down there at the bottom of turn 5. Stretching well out into the racetrack gives you some idea. And again, when they hit jumps this way, not so bad there, but still kind of blinded a little bit by the low sun. Perfect line uphill. In many ways, this racetrack made for Romain Febvre because of his fluid riding style, because he's not afraid to let the back end slide and move around beneath him. It caught him out in race 1, but he's mastered it here in race 2. Still maintains 9.8 seconds over Siwa. Absolutely in cruise mode now. Knows that it's his race and his Grand Prix to lose. Casual look over his shoulder. Can still see where Siwa is, and it's still hovering around 9 seconds between him and the Yamaha man. Just looking at the Prado will be on 5:05, Febvre on 4:04. Hurlings will remain on 3:86, Fernandez 3:74, Siwa will be on 3:71. So he'll be within 3 points of Fernandez in 4th place. But Koldenhoff, he'll be kicking himself because he would feel that he had the measure of Calvin Balander before he ran into the back of him. Just got a little too close. Into the final lap then for Romain Febvre. He is just 2 minutes 10 away from taking his first Grand Prix victory in 41 Grand Prix attempts. Jeremy Seewer 6 seconds behind, but this is more a case of Febvre just backing it off, making sure that he brings it home. But the other side of this is Seewer will see that he's still pushing, and he will see Febvre getting closer towards him. He'll see him gaining, and he'll still believe that he can win this race. He'll also know the reason why he's gaining ground on Febvre. There he is at the bottom of the hill, look. But it is just too much to ask. It's down to 5 seconds as we hit halfway around the final lap. Here's Prado. He is just going through the motions now, mentally and physically spent, as he circulates in third place, 6.5 seconds behind Seewer. It's going to be second overall. He's only missed the podium once. That was in Spain. So 9 podiums so far this year for the Red Bull Gas rider, if he brings it home here, which he will. Takes a casual look over his shoulder as well, knows he's got about 4.5 seconds over Calvin Milanren. Even takes it easy at the top of the hill there, double single. A lot of noise as they go down past pit lane, a lot of cheers and shrieks. But as we focus on Jorge Prado, it's Romain Febvre who's going to be taking the top step of the podium. And he's about, here he is, makes his way uphill for the final time. Romain Febvre finally wins again. He wins in Indonesia. He wins here in Sumbawa. 41 Grand Prix starts it has taken him to get there. 2021, round 6, Belgium, was when he had his last Grand Prix victory. That's hard to believe, because that was a championship that went right the way down the wire between Guy Sir-Herlings and Febvre, and he was very much a part of that battle. Didn't win that, but they do get put through the mill from time to time. They make it look so very easy, but it is anything but. Obviously taking a little bit of extra liquid refreshment before they make their way to the podium, and you can't deny them that either. Right, podium time then. Third overall this weekend, Monster Energy Yamaha's factory MXGP rider Jeremy Seewer, third in race 1, a good fight for second in race 2. Looks fresh as a daisy, look, doesn't he? Probably expecting more though, as he takes that third step of the podium. Second overall, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing, Jorge Prado continues to lead the championship. But Romain Febvre, what a day, what a weekend. He had a fantastic race win and a fantastic podium moment in France a couple of rounds ago. But this one will top all of that as he takes the top step of the podium. 41 Grand Prix between his last victories. Antti Pirinen will take the team trophy in a few moments' time. President Director of the Bank NTB, Saria, hands the third place trophy to Jeremy Seewer, Monster Energy Yamaha, Factory MXGP. Jorge Prado will take his second place trophy for his hard-earned efforts from Dewey Noviani, the Vice Regent Sumbawa. Just take it, Jorge. Don't wait for it. Hope you said please and thank you.